everybody. It is Psychic Medium Kelly Miller. I'm pouring myself a pop. Just pop. So I just want to say hi to everybody. This is my Q&A on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to do that. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on some good stuff. So if you've never attended the Q&A is different than the Real Talk. So Real Talk, I do once answering questions and helping people out. This one, I answer questions, but they're not personal ones. It's more like what the hell's going on when it comes to all this energy here lately, because it's been kind of crazy, right? So, and the energy has been absolutely crazy. I think by tomorrow, it's finally going to mellow out, where we're going to get better regular sleep. We're not going to be so crabby, and these 180s should stop happening here. A lot of people have been having the 180 effect. You know, it's like 1 minute they're working, the next minute they're like, oh, I quit. So, or somebody quits on them, or they get fired, or like all kinds of stuff going on. So this stuff should be mellowing out here soon. I think by tomorrow it should mellow out. I know by the weekend it's supposed to get a little bit better. You know, throughout the year we are going to have some more of these, what I like to call like kind of crosshatches or kind of these crossroad situations where kind of everything happens all at once. So, and you know, yeah, the headache should be settling down now, because this last shift of energy with the lunar eclipse and the full moon, it really blew open the throat, the third eye and the crown chakra, but especially the third eye chakra. A lot of people had headaches right here, behind the right eye and back behind the head. And I'm going to tell you what, that's pretty darn normal when it comes to big shifts of energy like this. And, you know, if you really, I don't watch the news, I really don't, but it's hard to miss all the volcanoes and, you know, the bushfires and everything that's going on right now. Mother Nature's just cleaning. She's cleaning house right now. That's what she's doing. So she's just getting ready to clean house a little bit. That's what happens, especially during eclipses, is things get kind of rearranged. So it's not really a big surprise when we have major craziness happening in the world when we have all these eclipses. And like I said in one of my previous videos here on YouTube, we have 6 eclipses this year. Last year we had 5. You thought last year was crazy. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to get worse this year. So there's just going to be a lot more about face. And what I mean by that, if somebody's for your highest good, it's going to be fine. If they're no longer for your highest good, you're going to feel it. And it's time to kick under the curb. And what I mean by that is just put up a proper boundary. It's no longer about the other person. Who cares what other people do? It matters with who you're willing to allow into your life. Your time is more precious than I think what people understand. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time talking to some person who don't like me. Why would I do that? Life's too short for that. So, because I don't care what other people think. You guys shouldn't either. And I think with this change of energy here that's been happening, I think a lot of people are that way. What, buddy? What? Oh, my dog. My dog likes to be the star of the show. See? There you go, buddy. There you go. See? Yep. Everybody's there. Yep. Say hi, Templeton. Ugh. Hi, buddy. He's a good boy. So, right? Now my other dog's getting jealous. So, but anyway, but like I said, the energy should be settling down hopefully here in just a few days. This energy hasn't been easy, but you remember last year wasn't easy, but boy, this year it's going to be just about as frustrating. So I've been telling people it's not necessarily going to get easier. It's just going to be a little bit more frustrating. So just hang in there. If you are one of those people that's having bad headaches, ground your butt down. And what I mean by ground is you open up the root chakra. So we want to try to get outside if we can. Pull up Fat Chance when it's 14 degrees. But try to eat, you know, root vegetables. Try to, you know, wear red. Listen to some music that helps to open up that root chakra. Different things like that. So but the people with the headaches really need to ground down and hydrate. You may notice at nighttime especially, you're getting the hot sweats or sweats. We're having some galactic storms or geomagnetic storms type stuff. So whenever we get those, we get really weird hot flashes and things like that. And then we get really itchy. So if you've been really itchy, and it's not dry skin because it's winter, but if you get that, that's pretty normal. The only thing that's not necessarily part of this is the flu thing that's going around, that rotavirus where you're, you know, puking and pooping for 24 hours, or the flu. So that's different. So and again, I always tell people, if you're concerned, go check out your doctor. I mean, obviously I'm not a doctor for Pete's sakes, but I'm pretty good about posting, especially on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, I'm really good about posting things and letting everybody know, listen, we just had a shift and it's going to affect your throat or your stomach or something. But this one, it's all been the higher chakras. It's been the throat, the third eye, and the crown, and that's where you're getting the headaches at. Steven, can you stop somebody? Okay, they're just playing. So, okay. So let's get started in on some of these questions. And if you guys didn't follow me in my last video, I am to the point now where I can't read my chat screen without glasses. So I have my glasses so I can read. So, yes. I have been seeing replicating numbers. Yes. So replicating numbers is significant for identifying if you're going through a spiritual awakening or not. So usually we start off seeing the 1, 11, 11, 11, and then we go into 333, and then we start to see all the other replicating numbers. So when you begin to go through a spiritual awakening, you will see replicating numbers, and you'll see them often. Now, if you haven't checked out Awakenings, I co-own a store with my husband. If you haven't checked that out, all of our prices are replicating numbers. So it's $3.33 or $4.44. So we do that on purpose because our enlightened people are like, oh my gosh, this is so great. And unenlightened people are like, well, I don't get it. So it's kind of fun. So, but like I said, the biggest thing I can tell you is those replicating numbers are just significant to let you know that you are connected to spirit, and you'll have to go through and figure out what those replicating numbers mean for you. So 1111 for me means that it's spirit guide's way of saying knock it off, and whatever you're thinking about is something you probably shouldn't be thinking about. So that's usually that one for me. If I see 3s, it means that I'm being supported. If I see 2s, it's balance. If I see 5s, time for change. If I see 1, 2, 3, 4, it means that you know damn well what you need to change it up. If you see the 6s, you're too damn worried about money. So quit worrying about money. So like I said, all those different things mean something for everybody else. So, and then anything outside of that, like a combination. So like 9, 11, 6, 11, 3, 11, they're just a combination of the 9 and the 1. So just combine them. It's all good. So, but like I said, it's when you begin to go through a spiritual awakening, it is a journey. There's 5 phases when it comes to a spiritual awakening. Actually, there's 6, let's be real, because everything comes 1, 3, 6, 9, right? So the first phase is that catalytic phase where all of a sudden you're like, something has to rattle your cage in order for this to happen. So it doesn't have to be anything necessarily bad. It could be you falling in love, getting a Reiki treatment. It could be anything, right? So we start to go through this awakening, and then all of a sudden our ears are ringing, top of the head's itchy, certain foods aren't sitting good, dreaming all crazy, people starting to piss us off, and then we start wondering what our life purpose is. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is when you start to see those replicating numbers, and then phase 3 is when we start changing things up. That's when we get active on getting a divorce, moving away, doing things that normally we never would have had enough guts to do. So, and then after that comes phase 4. Phase 4 is when you're standing there relatively isolated and alone, and you're going, well, it feels right, but it don't make sense. So you start kind of looking around a little bit. That's really when you work on the dark night of your soul, or you do shadow work. And I do have a workshop here coming up this month about shadow work. It's one of my first, this is a new workshop. So I've had enough people ask me. So we're going to do a shadow workshop coming up, I think the end of this month. And the end of next month. I don't remember. I don't have my calendar in front of me. So, and then the 5th phase is standing there, knowing who you are, knowing your connection to God, knowing your connection to every living person, every living thing, and you know what your life purpose is, and you do your life purpose. Now, phase 6 is what Jesus taught us. So phase 6 is turning rainbow bodied. That is the true ascension. So that is going into rainbow body. You achieve that with like 14 years of enlightenment, or 13 years of meditation, which I still don't understand that. But I just know that I got kids to raise. It ain't happening. So, but just so you know that there are different phases to this awakening, and I kind of want to hit those so that way people can understand. So you will, SW was saying, I constantly see my birthday in numbers. You will. So that's usually that phase, right at the end of the phase 2, going into the phase 3 is when you start to see your, those numbers. Stephanie's asking, TV in our house keeps turning on by itself. Stephanie, I would tell you most than likely that is a loved one trying to get a hold of your attention. It could be a spirit guide, but usually they don't do that. A lot of times when you go through an awakening and you go through it fairly quickly, a lot of times they'll short circuit out electricity. So I have to be very careful after meditation and not to touch anything electronic for a little while. So because I vibe high enough, I end up breaking out breakers, and it costs a lot of money, and I don't want to do that anymore. So Carol is saying that she keeps dreaming about a bad car wreck. You have to look those up. So dreammoods.com, favorite website. They have an app. Okay, I wake up in the morning and I look at my app. So look that up because it has something significant with what you're going through emotionally speaking in reality. So most than likely you got some drama that's flushing out to the surface. And I would tell you, if there's drama flushing out to the surface, get it out. Get it out. Don't tuck it back down. That's what people do with drugs and alcohol. They tuck it back down and they're like, oh no, it's fine, it's fine. So no. So don't tuck it back down. Bring that crap out. What's a good crystal to put on my desk at the home office? Does it need to be money related? Well, it's important, but not important to me. Carla, that's a really good question. I will tell you too, actually. Shungite is a really good one if you want to block the EMF. So we have all these 5G towers going around. Everybody's all freaking out, right? Shungite's the way to go. Get yourself a piece of shungite between you and the electronic, and that's going to help to block the EMF from the electronic to you. So I would tell you shungite's great, and it helps you to ground down so you're a little bit more logical. The other one would be black tourmaline, but if you work at home, you really don't need it because it's more of a blocking other people's negativity. So if you don't have a lot of people, then shungite honestly would be the best one. The second best one, citrine or pyrite. Citrine or pyrite are the ones to manifest the money. They're the ones to bring you the money. So pyrite is like bull in china shop. It really makes some things happen. Citrine is more of that happiness. It keeps your vibes up so you're happy. That's a really good one for depression too, if you know anybody with that. Marcy is asking, do you feel uncomfortable when in antique stores? There are 3 places Kelly hates to go. There are 3 places. One is a psych ward or anything with mental health. I have a really difficult time. My head spins. I get very dizzy, vertigo. I feel like I want to throw up. And that's all residual energy. That's all energy that's been dispersed. The other one is hospitals. I don't like hospitals. If I'm in a hospital, you know I'm sick, okay? Or I'm there because a loved one of mine is hurt. But I really have to ground down and tap out before I go. And the third one is antique malls. So they hold a lot of old residual energy. That's why I tell people, if you want to go antique shopping, you go ahead, but make sure that you sage it before you bring it home. You don't want to bring that shit home without some sage, because people's old energy, especially if it's metallic, like rings, necklaces, earrings, hold a lot of residual energy. So make sure you cleanse and sage those before you bring them into your house. Otherwise, you're going to bring some other creepy shit with you, and you don't want to do that. Kelly bought at your office very light green crystal stone. Can't remember what they are or their purpose. Carol, I'll tell you, bring those back in. We'll be able to tell you, or send me a picture. Here's my cell phone number. It's 402-237-0080. I don't care. I always keep my cell phone on. I may not get to you right away, but I always keep my work cell phone on, and I love to answer questions, things like that. So send me a pic. I'll tell you what it is right away. It's hard because there's about 4 that come to my head. So without seeing it, I don't know. Okay. What does 7 mean when they continually appear in front of me? Jolene, that's a really good one. That means that it just basically means that you're doing a good job. Give yourself a pat on the back, and we support you. Keep going, sister. Keep going. So remember, this one is my Q&A. I'm not going to answer personal questions on this one. If I do personal questions, that'll be on the Real Talk one. This one is to answer more of those spiritual questions or those metaphysical questions. So Marie is asking about Enlightenment Academy. So if you haven't figured this out, I wrote a program called Enlightenment Academy. There are 3 phases to Enlightenment Academy this next weekend, and I still have 2 positions open left. But this weekend I'm having Enlightenment Academy. It is all day Friday, all day Saturday, half a day on Sunday. That's Enlightenment Academy 1. Then Enlightenment Academy 2 is the same. It's on a full day Monday, full day Saturday, and most of the day on a Sunday for the second one. The third one is how to turn it into a business. So the first one is basically like psychic abilities. How do you talk to your spirit guides? And I mean, really talk to them. Really talking about the frustration about meditation, and we go in depth into chakras. So that's the first one. The second class is more based on mediumship, how to look at somebody and be like, oh, they got a stroke indicator and that ain't good. So, and then I'm like, okay, why do they have a stroke indicator? So we're able to go backwards, and I'm able to help teach people that way. So that's what Enlightenment Academy is about. And then the third class is how to turn it into a business. So I have 3 different, I guess, courses, but the overlaying course is called Enlightenment Academy. So, and you can find that on my website at psychickelly.com. Okay. Susie's asking, as a strong empath and working with dying people, how can I protect myself at work? Susie, I gotta give you props. That is probably one of the most difficult, energetic jobs to do. Make sure that you have black rocks either in your bra or your pocket. And mostly to kind of keep you grounded and here. The other one is I would keep a piece of like green aventurine or maybe a piece of rose quartz on you too, to help keep that heart chakra at a regular level so you don't over empathize with everybody. Because if you over empathize with everybody, your heart's going to bleed and you are going to be exhausted. So salt baths at the end of the day is really, really good. So that'll help to recharge your batteries, toots. But make sure you take care of you, because it never fails. My healers, teachers, counselors, nurses, are the worst people to take care of themselves. They're terrible at self-care. So make sure you take care of you. What happens when you go into a vortex areas like Sedona? Alexis, I take a women's retreat twice a year in 2020, one in April, one in September. I'm taking a group of 12 women, and we are going to Sedona. So I would love to encourage people to go. I was able to kind of lower the price, so it is $2,000. It was $2,500. So I was able to get a better rate on a hotel. So that includes flight, hotel. We all go together. So if you've never been on a trip by yourself, this is a good experience to go on a trip by yourself. So, but we go in April and we go in September, and I will go with you and show you where the vortexes are at. And then we actually do a meditation. And the last time we did a meditation there at the vortex that was at Bell Rock, we did a releasing type of thing, and it was amazing. So if you're, like I said, I know it's a little bit of money, but it's a wonderful opportunity for you to go on a vacation by yourself for your own personal development. And I only take 12 people. I'm one of the 12. So actually I take 11 people. And I don't want to bring more than that, because I want people to get individual time with me. So, and you can sign up psychickelly.com on that one too, my website. If you guys haven't either subscribed to me on YouTube or gotten my newsletter, I highly suggest you do, because this year like I said, I'm spitting out a lot of information this year. So make sure you're signing up or following me on Facebook or whatever. Okay, good, Crystal. When you have to go into negative situations, Jody, there's 2 actually. Black tourmaline's really good to avoid negativity, but if you feel like you're being like eyeballed, like somebody's giving the stank eye, then I would tell you black obsidian or snowflake obsidian or rainbow obsidian. Any of the obsidians would be totally fine. And I would tell you that's one of those that wear a bracelet. So wear a bracelet, or if you can, stick it in the bra, in the pocket, something like that. But I would keep that one on pretty regularly. I will tell you that when I leave work, I either have a grounding pendant on, or I have a piece of black tourmaline. Usually it's black tourmaline. Usually I got a piece in my pocket or my bra, whichever I have. An evil eye bracelet would work too. Kendra, that's a good one. I don't have any evil eye bracelets yet, because we're working on a vendor right now who's opening up that line. So I'm not supposed to say anything to anybody, but I'm gonna, and I might get in trouble, but I don't care. I'm gonna be working with a large company and doing a jewelry line specifically for Kelly Miller. So he's doing that with about 5 other influencers. And he asked me if I would help him design jewelry. I'm like, yeah. So I'm kind of excited about that. So, but that probably won't, because it's like, we're talking, I make the design, it has to go to India, and they have to make, it's like a process. So it won't be out for a little while. Justice is asking, can you describe feeling the feeling but not becoming the emotion a little bit more? Justice, the way I look at it is hurt people. And if somebody comes at me in a negative or attacking way, it has nothing to do with me. It's because they're hurt. And you can, and hurt comes out as anger a lot of times. Same with other people. I just learned not to take things personally. Because really it's just a reflection on them. It's no different than somebody coming up to me saying, oh my gosh, you're so intimidating. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's because you're weak. It's because I know who I am and I'm confident with who I am and my connection to God. You don't know yours. That's why I feel uncomfortable to you. So that's why I always have to tell people, it's not me, honey, it's you. So I'm not intimidating, you're weak. There's a big difference in that. And I don't usually say that, obviously. But honestly, hurt people just hurt other people. And a lot of times I can kind of call them out on it right away. I'm like, oh, wow, that really sucks. I'm sorry that happened to you. And they're like, they don't expect that response. They expect a fight. I don't do that. So, and if they continue to bark, I just turn around and walk away and be like, God, would you just help them, please? Because I don't want to. So usually that's how it goes. I just learned a long time ago not to take things personally. You just can't. So because people don't know your story, and I don't know their story, but at the same time, we still have to live together. So, okay. So we all have to live together on this planet, but that's why it says you're supposed to love your enemy and either your brothers and your sisters. Well, they are. So can soaking my feet in salt water be just as effective as a salt bath? Heck yeah, Tori. So absolutely. The other thing you can do is, the salt scrubs. Yeah, they work. Or taking some salt and going like this over your head in the shower and just imagining that shower just cleansing your auric field. That'll work too. So good stuff. What does it mean to feel heavy energy in your hands? Kendra, that means that you are absolutely a healer. So I teach Reiki. I wasn't going to, but I had so many people ask me. So that means to tell me it's time for you to learn about Reiki. And here, let me give you guys a quick trick. Ready for this one? If you take your fingernails and do this, we call this hair of the dragon. If you rub your nails together like this, hold them like this, you'll feel what kind of feels like static electricity. It feels like it kind of like your fingers repel each other a little bit. So that means to tell me that you are not only spiritually connected, but you're probably a healer, especially if you could really feel it. Those are my healers. So I am a Reiki master myself. I just don't practice it anymore. But I did at the beginning, and I'm really glad I did because I wouldn't understand energy as well as I do if I hadn't done the Reiki part of it. So that's my time to learn. Denise is saying, when I meditate, I can feel and hear my guides, but not visualize them with my third eye. Will that come with time? It will, Denise. It really will. So that just means to tell me that your clairaudient and your clairsentient is on point. Clairvoyance isn't yet. And, I'm going to tell you, don't even worry about it. So the more you try to get your third eye working, the worse it's going to be. The minute you forget about it, it puts you in a place of allowance and boom, it starts to happen. That's what happened to me. So I'm like, just don't even worry about it. Put it off the side track and it will happen. In the meantime, perfect what you already know. So if you already know that you can hear and feel, perfect it. So what I mean by that, practice. So how do you know when your shadow work is completed? That's a good question. You'll know because nothing triggers you anymore. Nothing triggers you. So that's when you know it's complete. So yeah, that's the best way. You don't have those negative emotions pop up immediately. You're not angry. You're not mad or disappointed. You don't have those negative emotions anymore because you understand it from a spiritual perspective and not a human one. So Christy is saying about migraines. We were talking about that at the very beginning. Migraines are extremely common right now. Should be going down by tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be getting better. Have I thought about putting together a YouTube meditation guide? Yes, I have, Rocky. I'm on it. So my webcam crapped out. So I'm on the hunt of finding a new webcam right now. So, but yeah, I'm on it. That's why I'm doing a lot more YouTube videos this year. So my goal is to try to do one a week, if not one every 2 weeks. So, but yep, I am. So, wow, these things are going, okay. Will salt lamps help in classrooms with children that have autism and ADHD? Carol, absolutely yes. Selenite would work too. So salt lamps are pretty good. Salt lamps would probably be the better bet. So because they disperse negative ions, and negative ions help to calm your stuff down. So absolutely, yeah. I won't be doing any Reiki videos, and the reason why is because I'm a hands-on person. I'm not like, oh, let's go over the book and talk about the history. I'm like, you want to learn about the history, read it yourself. Let's get hands-on. And so when I teach Reiki, I bring in guinea pigs, and we're going over them, and we're like, okay, something's wrong with the solar plexus. I'm like, correct. So I'm a big hands-on person. I'm not a book learner. So I teach hands-on. I don't teach through a book very well. Nope. I'm like, you want to learn about that stuff, read it on your own. So, what's the best way to increase my connection and interpretation of energy? I often feel things, but I'm slow to know what it means and whether it's just me. Melissa, it's never you. It will feel like it is your imagination. That's the best thing. I feel like I get paid to use my imagination all day. That's what it feels like. So I'm going to tell you that everything I do is illogical. Everything I do makes no sense. I just repeat what I hear, see, feel, smell, taste. No, I just repeat. So that's my job as a medium, is I have one foot in this world and one foot in that world, and I'm just a translator. So I translate through feelings, through thoughts, through ideas that pop into my head, through smells, all that stuff. So that's usually that, and I just have learned over time how to learn their language. You really are. You have to understand, when you start going into this, you're really learning a different language. So, because you're learning spirit's language, and when I see a red rose, that means something completely different than another psychic medium's meaning of a red rose is. So you really have to learn your own ideas or things that pop in there. So you have to learn your own language. So, but once you understand what that means, you don't ever change it. So, because once you have that communication, you don't change it, even though it makes no sense. Just don't change it. So, Dean's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Dean. Yay. So, what work do I need to do to quit worrying about my loved ones? Susie, literally give it to God. There isn't a darn thing you can do if something happens anyway. So worrying about it won't help you at all. And number two, most unlikely, Susie, someone taught you how to worry, like a mom or a dad, and you've learned some bad habits. So your job is to no longer have that bad habit and literally put it in God's hands. Like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm just, and when your head's still going like that, you need to physically get up and move. So because sitting there is just going to keep things spinning. Physically get up, move around. It's enough to kind of get your brains kind of up in a different direction. So, but most likely, like I said, I'm guessing somebody taught you that. Tori, when I have thoughts, how do I know if it's maybe a sign or just my ego? Because you answered your question right there. It's never just a thought. It's not. That's not your ego. Because what happens is you're like, did I just see that? Did I just hear that? Did that just pop in there? Yeah, it did. That's spirit led. If you have to, you're questioning what has already happened because your intuition is so much faster than your logic or your ego can comprehend. So it's going to happen. And then your brain's trying to go, now, wait a second. We need to put this into logic. So that's what I mean. Everything I do is illogical. I just take it from here, spit it out. I'm able to meditate to keep these two sides of my brain separate. So once I started meditating, this was easy. So then I was like, oh, I know what that means. I know what that means. I know what this means. I know what that means. So, and then anymore, I just tune in and spit fire. So that's why I'm like going, nothing is random. So, I mean, if I smell, coffee and I taste black licorice, I'm like, okay, did your mom really like black licorice and coffee? She's like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, and did she bake brownies like all the time? And they're like, oh my God, how did you know that? I'm like, because it just popped in there and I tasted it and I smelled it. And then I had an idea hit me. That's how it works. So like I said, once you start questioning it, that means to tell me spirit already had it to you, already that fast. So like I said, it's super fast. Tammy saying, how do I get back on track? Everything's been shaken up after I thought it was coming together. You know what, Tammy? I'm going to tell you what, baby steps, honey. Baby steps. But this time, would you please be more selfish? Would you please start putting your own stuff first? Don't over self-sacrifice for people who aren't going to do it for you. And yes, that includes family. Sorry, but if they're not willing to take care of their own crap, you shouldn't do it for them. So absolutely not. Because what ends up happening is you do it for them, you get no thank you in return, and then they blame you because it didn't happen faster. So nope, absolutely not. That's where the boundaries must happen. So Justin, to go with Kathy's question, why is it the ringing tones change? Oh, okay, good one, Justin. Okay, so usually when you hear the ringing in your ears, right, it's going to be on the right side, not the left. Right side is your intuitive side. Left side is your ego, your logic. So when you hear the low pitch wah in your ears, that's most unlikely your spirit guides. The high pitch wee, those are angels. So you're able to hear the tones or pitch in your ear based on who's around. Usually left side is going to be a loved one, not always. Sometimes you might get it in both ears. If that happens, then there was a huge shift of energy. So something may have shifted. So that's usually when you're following me on Facebook and I post holy shift. So, because some of them just, knock you sideways. You're here and all of a sudden, you're kind of walking off to the side and you're like, what the heck's going on? So that's usually what's happening, is that we have a shift of energy. So that's how you can tell the different tone or pitch with who's around. Okay. One goal I have this year is to follow my intuition more than my logical. How do I build more confidence? And yeah. So SW, I'm going to tell you what, meditate, 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 meditate. You guys are going to get sick of me saying this, but truly, the more you meditate, the easier it is. The easier it is, the clearer it is. It's just an easier flow, and you see it not only with spirit stuff, but you see it in your reality too. So that's kind of a big deal. That's like you got to meditate. That's all there is to it. And I'll tell you what, every time I say you need to meditate, I hear the same excuse every single time. Well, I tried, but my brain won't shut up. I'm like, you are trying to get a chipmunk on cocaine in your brain to sit down and shut the hell up for the first time ever of you talking to your chipmunk. Ain't gonna happen. You need to train the chipmunk. So your job is to sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and do absolutely nothing. You're gonna find that alone is torture. Torture, because we just want to hurry up and get on our phones right away and be like, oh, distract. And I'm telling you, sit there, no distractions, 5-10 minutes. You're gonna find real quick how difficult that is to do. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Start there. Sherry is asking, can you meditate lying down? You can. I prefer people to sit up unless you have a back injury of some sort or an injury. Obviously, we're going to go with the most comfortable. But usually if we meditate lying down, we have the tendency to fall asleep. Now, falling asleep during the meditation isn't a bad thing. It's not. You're still in a subconscious mode. So you're going from delta to theta. So just a different brain wave. So you're still meditating, just in a different wavelength. So, okay. Somebody's asking if they meditate before they sleep. Is that adequate? Absolutely, yes. So that's how I started. So I lost the love of my life. Everything after trauma family is helping me. So Tammy, just hang in there. Like I said, baby steps on this one. Do the little things throughout the day that make you happy. And like I said, I want you selfish. I don't want you, overextending anything for you. I want you selfish. So how do you intensify the power of a crystal? Put it next to a piece of selenite or charge it underneath the full moon. So the full moon is the best time to do that. So Marissa is asking, what does it mean if you can tell someone is close to death? It means that they're going to die. So I can see that. So, but it's not my job to intervene either. That is between them and God, and I will not intervene unless it is asked of me. But rarely is it. I do not, and I will not, and I do not teach my students this, that if somebody's like, oh, when am I going to die? I say the same response every single time. I will tell you tomorrow. And people freak out. And I'm like, your response means to tell me that you haven't lived life the way that you should. So maybe it's time to adjust your sails. So, because that's between you and God, and I don't interfere with that. I don't think that's right. Moralistically, that's just not right. That's my opinion, though. So, but yes, you can. I can. Every once in a while, I will get somebody that probably about 4 times a year, I get someone that will come in that is sheer white all the way around them. And I know that they know that they're deathly ill. And so a lot of times we're not talking about psychic stuff. We're going straight into mediumship. And their loved ones are always reassuring that they're going to show up. They're going to tell them exactly what to do and how to exit the body. So it's just kind of like birth, though. You don't really remember how you were born. You don't really remember how you're going to die either. So, and if you think you're going to see the pearly gates, you're going to see the pearly gates. If you think you're going to see Jesus, you're going to see Jesus. If you think you're going to see the white tunnel, you're going to see the tunnel. Everybody sees everything differently based on their own free will. Okay? So to argue over it's just stupid. So how do you nicely tell someone they are giving too much of themselves to others? I'm worried my mom is literally going to kill herself worrying about everyone else but her. You know what? I just spoke about that. It really is a bad habit. That's what it boils down to. And, I would tell your siblings to stop calling her. And if they are going to call her, talk about good things. Talk about all the happy things that are going on, not the bitching and the whining and the, oh, poor me, victim mentality, blah, blah, blah. So tell them that if they're going to talk to your mother, be positive. Be happy. Talk about good things. Don't talk about negative things. Mom, she can't handle it. So that'd be the best advice I could give you. So, but some people are just natural worriers, and it's their issue. So everybody's got a flaw. Everybody's got flaws, myself included. So, but that just happens to be your mom's flaw. And we accept people for their flaws. I don't ever try to change somebody unless it is asked of me. I'm out of it. I don't do that. I could see the train coming down the track. I won't rescue you off the track. I'll just wait for you to get hit. So Alexis is saying, is it true that you shouldn't charge your crystals underneath a full moon during an eclipse? I've heard that. I haven't noticed a difference. I tried it with one crystal that I did full moon, and I didn't touch it. And I did another crystal with full moon eclipse energy. They seemed the same to me. So I think that's one of those debate ones, I think. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it, then that's your soul telling you it's a no-go. Then don't do it. Don't do it. But you got to trust your gut on this one, because to each their own. Everybody's got to figure out their own truth and what makes sense to them and not. So, but like I said, if it don't feel right to you, then I'm going to tell you it's a no-go for you. I would go trust the gut on that one. So, Kathy says, I feel I get a lot of signs, but my friends think I'm crazy. Kathy, welcome to my world. The only difference is I don't talk to my friends. I don't, although my friends now are very enlightened, so they get it. We all see the same damn numbers all the time when we go out anyway. But you got to remember, people are either enlightened or they're unenlightened. That's it. You're either on or you're off. And you can't talk about this enlightenment stuff to people who are unenlightened. They don't get it. They're not going to. You're starting to climb a mountain. They're in the valley. They will not be able to see what you're talking about from your perspective on the mountain. They're in the valley. You can't drag them up your way. Everybody has their own way of getting up there. I'm not saying I'm at the top of the mountain, but I'm up there. It's my job to shine a light to get as many people up as fast as I can. So that's my job as a teacher, to help everybody else up. But I won't help the unenlightened ones because they don't get it. They're ignorant, they're judgmental, and they don't mean to be that way. We used to be unenlightened. We get it. So that's why I'm like, but I've learned a long time ago, I can't help the unenlightened ones. They don't understand. So, is it possible to see a spirit animal even if you don't like the animal you don't see? Yes, Justin. Absolutely, yes. And I'm going to tell you, Google the spiritual meaning behind the animal. So what was it? Like the other day I had a dream, and it was the other day is like months ago. So I had a dream about spiders, and I kept seeing spiders all over. And I'm like, what in the heck? And it was like summer. So it wasn't at a normal like fall. I expect spiders to come on in. It's getting cold. So, but I kept seeing them all over. Once I looked up the meaning behind it, which means that I was taking with what my mother said personally and not as advice, I was like, oh crap. The minute I got it and let go of that issue, never saw another spider. So make sure that you're Googling the spiritual meaning behind it. See if it resonates with you. Okay, see if it makes sense to you, because if it does, then it should. So that just means to tell me, Justin, clairvoyantly, you're probably seeing it, and then boom, it's gone all of a sudden. Still look it up, the meaning. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a spirit animal of yours, like a totem. It could be a sign as well. So one or the other. So you're gonna have to look that one up. What crystals should I make sure I have as a new empath? Courtney? Ooh. So rose quartz is hell yes. The other one is green aventurine. I always say that word wrong. Aventurine is another good one. Citrine is good because it helps with the self-confidence. Lapis lazuli is a good one because it helps with your throat chakra to be able to speak your truth. And then the last one is a grounding one, so something black. Usually I tell people obsidian, but black tourmaline's a good one too. So those would be my top 5 for that. And I will be shooting a video here next week on that one. So I already have it. So what was the site to look up your dreams? Dream Moods, MOODS, dreammoods.com. So along the dreams, you don't think you dream. That's okay, Kathy. So some days I dream, some days I don't. So it's okay. And other people, especially if they're more clairvoyant, can dream a lot easier than people who are more like clairsentient or clairaudient. So, so yeah, hopefully that helps, but that's not always normal. So, I meditated with an online video of a shaman, felt dark, heavy energy that scared me, have been nervous to continue developing since. Any advice? Yes, Michelle, I would tell you that don't meditate with that person again, because they probably have a negative energy attachment or a negative something attached and may have bled through and gotten to you. So before you meditate from here on out, you're just going to say something like, God, angels, please surround me with the white light of the Holy Spirit. And then you're going to imagine yourself in this white bubble before you meditate. So that way, anybody for your highest good can come on in and be around you. Anyone who's not can't come near you. So just ask for a little bit of protection before you meditate. I still do that, even though it's so stupid. But I do, because I don't want somebody to pop in there and who's negative. I just want to make sure that anybody that may talk to me or pop in while I'm meditating is for my highest good. So I don't talk to people who are not in heaven, because if they're not, they can piss off. So, and I will protect myself accordingly. So Eddie's asking if a spirit can take over a body. Absolutely. That's what possession is all about. So same with negative entity attachment. Negative entity attachment means that they're attached to your aura or your auric field or your chi energy. Possession means that your soul literally squirts out and a spirit can come in and take over. Usually it happens if you're really low vibration, meaning that you're alcoholic, bipolar, or your emotions are out of control. Or if you're, especially, it seems like it happens a lot with alcoholics, because alcohol is, wow, good job, Kitty. Alcoholics, they don't call them spirits for nothing. Okay. So what alcohol does to the body is it actually poisons it. And that what your soul can only handle so much in a body that's toxic, it'll squirt out. That's why when you get so drunk you can't remember anything. What's happening is that your soul exited the body. It's still tethered to the body with like what looks like an umbilical cord. It's actually like a silver cord that attaches. So it's still attached, but that means that your body is open and any spirit can come on in. So that's when a possession can happen. And people ask me all the time, is it real? Can it happen? Absolutely. And I've dealt with it, and it's really ugly, and it's not easy to get rid of. It's not. So that's why I always have to tell people that you'll know if it's negative. You'll just know. There is no mistaking. There is no mistaking. Everything in your soul screams at you. All senses scream, high alert. But you got to remember, if you're enlightened or you're vibing high, ain't going to happen. It can't happen. They're going to go for the easy kill. Okay, let's think about it. You're going to go for the weak one in the herd, which is the crazy, alcoholic, unenlightened one. So, or whatever. So, but do you see what I mean? That's like, they're not going to go for the enlightened one. They're going to go for the unenlightened one. So, but the biggest thing is that before you meditate, always say a quick prayer. So just to make sure that somebody's good for your highest good that's going to be coming in, and it gives you a good protection mechanism. So, Tammy, no, you do not. So, and lastly, I don't believe in curses. I don't, or psychic attacks. So, because if that's the case, I have been cursed and psychically attacked so many freaking times for who I am and what I do, I'd be dead by now. So, and I don't have bad luck. I just don't. I mean, sure, shit happens once in a while, but I don't have bad luck. I don't sit there and blame all of my unfortune on a curse. So, because I'll tell you what, if you believe you're cursed, then you are. That's the curse itself, is your belief. So remember, nobody can affect your free will unless you allow it. So Kendra, walk-ins is a little bit different. So Kendra's asking about walk-ins, and let me try to clarify what I can understand with a walk-in. Usually a walk-in is your body has to be fairly, like something tragic has to happen with the body. Like you get into a major car accident and you're going to die, but then you have an NDE, a near-death experience. And then when you wake up, you're just a really different person. And everybody's like, wow, you've really changed. Or wow, you're not the same person. Now that's different when you go through an awakening. But so what that is when a walk-in is basically what they say is that your soul leaves and another soul that wants to incarnate can come on in. So it's this still that same body, but the soul squirted out and some other souls coming into the body that wants to incarnate from heaven. So that's what a walk-in is. So hopefully that kind of clears that up, because sometimes it gets really like, there's too much terminology. What's really crazy though, there is no dictionary for spiritual stuff. Like there is no dictionary for the difference between soulmate, twin flame, karmic relationship, all this stuff. So somebody needs to come up with like a Webster's dictionary of spiritual terms so we're on the same damn page, because my terminology very well could differ from somebody else's terminology. So I'm like, I need to figure that out. Miss Megan, sounds like you are astral projecting there in your dreams. SW says, talk to us about auras. Okay, everybody has auras. Everybody does, and everybody's auras change with their attitude. I always think of auras like a mood ring. So they're like, they change in colors. So like 1 minute you'll be red, that's angry, logical, fear-based, going to survival mode. Whereas some people are just purple and they're all like, I love God and spiritual stuff. I like my crystals. So that's the purple aura. So, but it could change with your personality or your attitude. So I always like to think of auras of kind of like a mood ring. It doesn't change super fast, but it can change. So hopefully that helps. My sister travels extensively, becoming frightened about the world and personal safety through the coming year. Is this due to spending too much time on the news? Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't watch the news because there's nothing positive on the news until it's at the very end of the day. So it's no different. Like, good morning, America. Let me tell you what's wrong with it. No, I refuse to watch the news anymore because of two reasons. One, it's always negative, and two, there isn't a damn thing I can do about it. There isn't, yes, you should be informed. Okay, fine. But there is, unless I'm figuring on running for Senate, there is not a damn thing I can do to change laws. Sure, I can write my senator. Sure, I could write, people like that. But unless you're willing to really dig in and protest and change and start a movement, you're just bitching. You're just bitching about opinions on who's right, who's wrong. There's no point of that. It's just, I'm sorry, no. So I refuse to watch the news because all it does, especially for my empathic people, I'm a lot happier not watching it. SW said his aura has been yellow and blue. That's happy and spiritual. Yay! 10-year-old is an empath and ODD ADHD. We do not medicate. Any tips to successfully parenting them? Yes, Vicky. Couple things. Number one, routine is key. Don't screw with the routine. Number two, 10-minute rule applies. 10 minutes to bedtime, 5 minutes to bedtime, time for bed. Then we go to bed. If you just say time for bed because it's the same time every day because of your routine, they're going to freak the hell out on you and throw a temper tantrum. So give them the 10-minute rule. 10 minutes till we go to the grocery store, to go to the grocery store, time to go to the grocery store. And then they'll get up and do it. And then lastly, don't start the sentence with you need to. You start that sentence with you need to, you just picked a fight. If you start the sentence with I think, I need, I feel, they'll do whatever you want. So the other thing is, it sounds to me like this kid is being taught how to worry. So that means to tell me he's being taught how to worry by a parent. So you want to fix your kid? You fix you. You fix you and show him how to do it the right way. So a lot of adults are having these children with attention issues or issues when it comes to anxiety. I'm like, you're teaching it to them. Either that or you're doing it for the child when the child needs to do it themselves. So the biggest thing is watch the worry talk around the kid. Don't do the worry talk around the kid. If anything, be like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's just wait and see what's going to happen. And they're going to be like, oh, so they'll freak out. So the other thing is talk to them about the what if scenarios. Well, what if we didn't do the dishes today? What if we just left them here and we did them tomorrow? And let them sit on that. Let them sit and stew. I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with your kids having some negative emotions here. So, to an extreme, yes, obviously. So, but the biggest thing is that means to tell me somebody's teaching him how to worry. So make sure that you're not teaching him perfectionism, and make sure that you're not teaching him how to be worried about everything, and make sure that you're not enabling the behavior to continue. So hard to do in the moment. So the best thing I always tell parents, you want to help your kid, you have to adjust you first. So, because if the kid sees that you're changing, kid's going to change. So kids are adaptable. They really are. So, but got to change the adults first. Grace is asking, does everybody have past lives? Yep. Except the rainbow kids coming in. So rainbow kids are, I don't even know how to explain. Rainbow kids, okay, so we have two. So I'm an indigo. An indigo child is children from the hippie generation, okay? An indigo child is very, you don't tell me what to do, I'll tell you what to do. We think everybody's stupid. We are the leaders. Let's see here. We do have a very good routine. And we do have the tendency to have anxiety issues. So we marry another indigo, have a child. That child then is considered a crystal child. So I have two crystal children. So those kids grow up and they're old enough now, they're in their 20s. Those kids grow up and they have children. Sometimes they have what's called a rainbow child. Now, rainbow children do not have past lives. They're new here. So they have no fear. Zero. Those are the kids that are like, well, if I die, I'll just come back around again anyway. And you're like, huh? So that's like, they're instant healers. They are magical kids, but man alive, they've got zero fear. You have to really teach them stranger danger because they just love everybody. They're like, oh, I love you. So we're starting to kind of get a little bit more of those rainbow kids in. Not very many though; they're very rare. So Scott's see faces coming at me at night before I fall asleep. What's happening? Ooh, that means to tell me that your clairvoyance is on and in full. Clairvoyance it starts out, so you close your eyes and you start seeing what looks like lava lampy looking things. That's phase 1. And then you start to see shapes like triangles, eyeballs, the like dodecahedron shapes. You'll start to see those. And then the third phase is you'll start to see what looks like faces, and then they kind of go away. And then the last phase, you'll actually see them like walking, talking, looking at you. That is that kind of final phase of the clairvoyance. So that just means to tell me that your clairvoyance is tapping in. So that's a good thing. Sherry, crystal that you could use to protect against your sister, black tourmaline. Yep, black tourmaline, and a piece of rose quartz wouldn't help too. So that's just unconditional love. So you're going to protect yourself, give her some unconditional love. She won't be able to stand you because you'll be completely different. Susie was asking if I do personal sessions. I do. Head to psychickelly.com. I still do individual readings. You bet. I don't do groups. I don't do the parties or the groups anymore. I simply don't have enough time because you got to remember I'm still raising my 2 kids and a step kid too. So can your clairvoyance come and go? It can. You never lose it. Don't understand that once you get these abilities, you never lose it. However, your personal issues, your human issues, a lot of times will trump your spiritual stuff. So if you got some drama that you got to put out here, put your damn drama out so you can get tapped back in. So, because you never get tapped out, but when it feels like you do, that's usually when your reality is messing with the spirituality. Justin had a reading with Kelly. Amazed. Oh, yay. So, can a spirit jump on your back but not take over your body? Yes, Barbara, that's what we call a negative entity attachment. Yes. Do antidepressants affect our ability to connect? Yes, they do. So remember, at a phase 3 is usually when we start kind of working on backing away from the meds. But you got to remember, if you guys are on that stuff, you got to go slow. You can't do this stuff overnight. Your brains can't handle it because you're going to go from nothing to something really quick. So just remember, antidepressants kind of give you a bit of a ceiling, but not that much. I'm like, you're just hitting the ceiling, but you remove the antidepressant, you go a little bit higher. But only if you're ready and only if you and your doctor or your counselor agree to such. So, but yes, it does. It does. It's no different than me. I can't drink 24 hours before I am to give a reading because it's a depressant, and a depressant will literally tap me out. So that's why I'm drinking Fanta today, because tomorrow I've got to do readings all day. So I will not drink 24 hours before I do a reading because it taps me out. I can't tap in as hard as what I need to for that reason. Carol, she had a reading too. Yay. What are fluorescent beings, Earth Guardian? Ooh, it depends. They could be angels or ETs. It depends. So I would honestly, I think those feel like ETs to me. I would say that. So you got to remember, there's about 57 different kinds of ETs that visit Earth. So just don't think the Greys are the only ones here. I'm like, there's a lot, and there's a lot of them on our side. There's some that aren't. So, but that's a whole nother bag. Stacy says, my mom's sister have all been visited by the same shadow figure. Who was he and what did he want? Shadow figures usually aren't very good. And I will tell you, Stace, most unlikely, that was a dead ghost that lived in the house, and most unlikely suicide. Usually shadow people are suicide, or they're very bitter and angry and they died and they're still pissy and angry. So a lot of times that's a ghost. So that's one of those where we got to sage the house, and maybe sage isn't going to be good enough. And if that's the case, then we need to start looking at salting around the home. So that's a different protection mechanism. So I have seen a blue light being while giving Reiki. It was crazy. Yep. So Michelle says, I don't feel depressed, but my doctors keep putting me on antidepressants. How do I know if I actually need them? I have no feelings or emotions on them. That's, again, Michelle, that's between you and your doc, but that's a tough one. The biggest thing, Michelle, with you is that I would ask you, what are your goals, ambitions, and dreams? And clearly you don't have them, and you need to figure it out so you can get to working on it. So that way you can start working towards something that you really want and not do some dead end job and have a bunch of friends that are sucking you dry. So sounds to me like you might need a change. The drone situation, I have no freaking clue. I have no idea. I'm guessing if I had to stick my finger on it, it's the government up to something, because they're not the smartest and they probably lost something. I don't know. So I'm guessing that. I don't know, honestly. So that would be I haven't really paid attention. I just know there's a bunch of drones. I'm like, it's 10 degrees outside. I ain't going outside and looking for drones. You crazy? I got the fire going on and long johns. Not my thing. Tori, that's a good question. Tori's asking, will crystals have the same effect if you carry 1 or 20? Same. So, and I really haven't come across like any that like don't get along with the other. So, like I said, I know ladies that literally, when they come into awakenings, plop their purse down and they have like 50 freaking crystals. I'm like, you carry all those? They're like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to need. I'm like, damn. So what I do is I have a big selenite chunk about this big. I set all my crystals on there. And when I'm getting ready to wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, what do I feel like? What's sticking out to me? And every day for me is different. So some days I pick this one, other days I pick that one. I don't know. I just pick which one I'm like, this looks pretty and that looks pretty. Be like a kid. Be childlike. If it looks neat, that's the one you need. Because you always hear this, they're supposed to call out to you. I don't know what the hell. They don't talk. I don't know what the hell it means. But I know that if I think it's cool looking, I probably need it. So, can holding on to obsidian make you see weird visions when you're awake? No, but it sounds to me, Kendra, that if it does that, that's a good thing. Stick with it. So because it's really grounding you down, so your logical brain will sit down and shut the hell up. So this one can pop on. So that sounds really, really good, actually. So I'm like, if that's working for you, stick with what works. Don't change it up. Stick with what works. Somebody said, I get super emotional watching TV shows or movies. Oh, that is empath to a T, Johnny. Oh, empath. So, I'm trying to read. I know Siba keeps asking for personal questions. I'm not doing personal questions on this one. That's the real talk one because I'm not tapped in. So, and I don't want to give you some bull crap answer. So, because I'm not going to give you some BS answer if I'm not tapped in and giving you that. I'm wondering if I possibly have a psychic ability that I need to learn how to control. Well, it depends. So do your research, I guess. I don't, that's kind of an open-ended question. And then I'm trying to see. I'm going to do one more question because I'm like, it's an hour already. And you got to understand, my kid's over there. And our rule at the house is when I'm doing the Q&As like this or the real talk, nobody is to be online because we're considered out of town. So we've got dish for internet. So it slows everything down and I need as much broadband width as I get. So he's so funny. He's like, are you done yet? It's like an hour, Mom. He's 14. So, Sheena's asking, how do you know if you've done a good job setting boundaries? Because they don't come around anymore. They don't come around. And then once you set that boundary, you don't accept the crap anymore. It gets easier. It really does. You know it works because you're at ease with that person. So Tammy's asking 2020. Let me talk about 2020. And I talked a little bit about at the beginning. I'll kind of recap, okay? 2020, we have 6 eclipses. Last year we had 5. This year we have 6. Eclipses literally shake things up. So we just got done having one here earlier. I think it was like Friday or Saturday on the 10th. Okay, so it hasn't been easy for us sleeping. Lots of headaches. Lots of changes. Okay, so mind you, we have 6 of them. We have 4 lunar eclipses, 2 solar eclipses this year. So understand things are going to get shaken up a little bit this year. Know what it is that you want. You cannot stick your head in the sand anymore and just like, well, it is what it is. I'll just let God just take, get whatever I need. I'm like, this is the year for you to claim what it is that you want. Goal lists and dream boards or vision boards are big, 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 big. Know what it is that you need. Know what it is that you want. It's okay to get money if you want it. You are human in a human reality, but you're a spiritual being, okay? Get what it is that you want. So I have a lot of people are like, well, I want more money, but that's not very spiritual. I'm like, I like to eat. So do you. Manifest it. But if you don't sit there and say, I want $10,000, your spirit guides aren't going to guide you to get you what you want. Claim it. Claim it. Literally write it down and say, okay, God, angel, spirit guides, whoever else knows me, I need a little help. This is what I want. Show me how to get there. Your job is simple. Your job is to imagine what it's like to already have it. That's it. That's it. Imagine what it's like to have it and watch for the opportunity to present itself. And it will, but you've got to be willing to take that chance. And a lot of people are like, well, I wanted $10,000 and somebody offered me a job and I don't know anything about it. I don't know if I should take it. I'm like, take it. I'm like, you got a job offer for a reason. So, but a lot of people don't want to take the chance. They don't want the change. I'm like, go for it. This is the year for change. This is the year for spiritual growth. This is also a year for personal growth too. But again, if you want to grow, you got to know what it is that you want. Otherwise, you're going to get pushed and you're not going to know where you're going, what you're doing. You're going to feel lost, frustrated, and not know direction. So the biggest thing I can tell you is get some goals just for this year. Don't get all lost in what the heck you're going to do 3 to 5 years. This year is going to change you anyway. So just focus in on the year ahead. Don't worry about the long-term stuff. We're going to roll with it. That's what we do. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube video, please do. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed to my newsletters, do that well. I usually try to send out newsletters on Tuesdays. So if you didn't get a newsletter on Tuesday, check your spam folder because I think that's where a lot of them are going. But you can sign up on psychickelly.com. Check out Enlightenment Academy. Again, I've got 2 more spots for this next weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend, or no, this weekend. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week ahead and take care. Bye.